right, so I'm sitting with Chris Coyier of CSS Tricks, a number of other sites. Any other ones that come to mind that you want to make sure people know?
There are a number of other ones.
Yeah, you've got like 12 websites or something.
Well, maybe I probably do. If you look through my whole life, don't open Coda and look around. It's like kind of a mess. But no, it's mostly CSS Tricks. So if anybody knows me, it's usually through that, which is cool. Yeah. But I did write a book about WordPress. So there's that digwp.com. And I guess that's the important ones for now. Wufoo. I just started working at Wufoo, right. So wufoo.com.
Definitely wanted to bring that up. So how did that come about? How did they get you involved?
So I worked at this little design company in Madison, Wisconsin called Chapman Design for like 3 years. And so we had a lot of web clients, and I was the only web guy. It's this 3-person company. And it was really fun to work there. It was like my first job in the web industry and stuff. And we just, brought on more and more web clients. And as the only guy, web guy there, it was like I was jumping around a lot, responding to client requests. And so anything that I could do to stay sane or whatever is to make my job easier on myself, I would do. And this idea, I've said this a million times, is just like instant productivity and trying to find ways to make your job easier, whatever. That idea is permeated through everything I do. One of those things was use WordPress, because if I have one CMS that I can use on 30 sites, then jumping back and forth between them is easier. And certainly building forms, no joke, is a big deal, especially forms that do lots of cool stuff. And so
or take money, the Wufoo's integration with PayPal.
Write your own money collection system. Yeah. Good luck with that. So Wufoo forms do that, and I'm not gonna sit here and list the features of Wufoo, but it's awesome. And so I would tell that to people, when they would email me, because I have a website. You guys, I'm sure, get questions all the time too, and it's like, I will try to help you if I can, but if it's form related, I'm just use Wufoo.
That's what we do.
So I think that they were probably aware that I was sending some referrals their way and stuff. I would mention them at other various times. I did a screencast, I did a podcast on it. They were just kind of aware of me, I'm sure. Right. And that's cool. Cool. I think I ran into them down at another web conference, the Front End Design Conference, and talked to them. So I had a tiny little bit of FaceTime.
You spoke at that conference last year, didn't you?
I did, yeah. That was like the first conference I ever spoke at ever, which is, cool. It's been uphill since then.
Right. So. Well, that's cool that worked out. Yeah, we use Wufoo for some of our, outside of MMS Style, we have a web design company too, like everybody else, but we use Wufoo for a lot of stuff. And
cool.
Like I was saying, they are going to put us out of business one day. Maybe not.
Well, you can, it's a value add, I think, for if a customer sends you a request that says, hey, we're having a get together, we want people to RSVP for it
tonight.
For this stuff, and you're like, give me 3 minutes, and you can rock that out. You really can't, and it's impressive to them. And then when you send them a bill, you can charge for that.
Yeah,
this is expert material. So.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things I've been wanting to ask you is particularly about CSS Tricks. You're really focused on providing education to people. Like, what makes you want to do that? Why do you care about that?
I think about it sometimes. Everybody has a little retrospective on their life.
What am I doing?
Why am I here? I don't know. Sometimes I think this is a new one to me. Is that I'm not. I look at so many people. Some of the speakers here we're sitting at Converge stuff. People are so smart. It's just amazing. These smarties.
I know.
And sometimes I just don't feel. Usually I don't feel that smart, and it takes me a long time to grasp concepts. There's a guy in the other room right now talking about YQL, which is super cool and super complicated. And a lot of times I'll just sit there really? Select star from what?
I know.
And it's super cool. Anyway, so if I take the time and sit and learn one of those concepts, if I were really dig into YQL and learn it, it'll take me a long time, but I will get it, and then I'll feel like I can relate to all those people with their jaw dropped looking at that stuff and be like, I can help you now because I took the time to do it.
Right.
So if I've done that, I can then write it up. And sometimes that's the kind of stuff that ends up on CSS Tricks is when I've taken the time to kind of learn it and I can relate to that not knowing it and just spitting it out.
That's awesome. Well, I have to say I teach a Web Design 101, 102, and we cover a lot of basic HTML stuff. I've used you several times. Your
Yeah.
screencast, so thank you for that. You're doing the job.
Sure. I hear a lot of people that sometimes that's like super good compliment. You're like, thanks, man. If it's like a recent one, and then you're like, oh, you're still using that one.
Well, you know,
I'm gonna.
we use the.
Yeah. No, it's just I try and keep things updated and whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's
Awesome.
good. Keep doing it.
Well, thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Absolutely,
Thanks,
man.
Gene.